Right now, we are following breaking news in Idaho, where Rexburg police say human remains have been discovered on Chad Daybell's property.
This may be the break in the case authorities have been looking for after J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan disappeared in September of last year.
Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher is live in Salem, Idaho tonight with details on this major development. Lauren.
Yeah, absolutely, Kelly and Bob. A huge day, probably one of the biggest in this case so far. We're going to show you where we're at. We're across the field from Chad Daybell's home, and we're going to zoom way in here to where you can see some tents are set up outside on Chad's property, as well as investigators have been walking around. Investigators from the Rexburg Police Department, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, as well as the FBI and evidence response team. We're told about 20 members of the FBI, and this is where we believe they have found what they've confirmed to be those human remains. Now, Rexburg police at this point are not confirming or can't identify those remains, but they did say, you know, they were out here serving this warrant in relation to JJ and Tylee, who have been missing since September. They have taken Chad in for questioning. When we spoke to that witness, earlier today, of course, everybody here in Rexburg, they know who Chad is now, and she could not believe that she was driving by right as this happened.
It was just weird because he came past, and then all of a sudden there's all these cops just, you know, and one of them was kind of going on the outside, kind of trying to surround him. And so they got him to pull over and got him to get out of his car.
And Rexburg police not really giving a lot of information this afternoon. This is pretty much all they could say about Chad, though they were adding that there may be some pending charges.
Chad Daybell, who resides at that residence, has also been taken into custody for questioning.
Now, Lori Vallow Daybell has been in jail in nearby Madison County on charges of desertion and non-support of her children. And what you're looking at right now, to the right of the center of the screen, there is a backhoe that's out in that yard. They've kind of moved that tent a little bit. And those investigators, they've been out here since this morning. I believe about 7 a.m. is what they said when they started serving that search warrant. 11:30 a.m. is when they took Chad into custody. So, of course, right now, some huge questions as far as these remains. You know, with this being related to the case of JJ and Tylee, could this be them? Could this be one of them? Of course, questions that everybody has in their mind, but we are going to continue to stay out here and follow this search and bring guys the latest as we're hearing it. For now, we're live in Salem, Idaho. Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Lauren, obviously, with that investigation ongoing, there's got to be some roads. You're in a very rural area. How far back are they keeping you? And have you heard anything from officers that perhaps there will be another press briefing sometime later tonight?
Yeah, they are keeping the news media very far back. We're actually, we came across this field because where they're keeping people at is down the road where you can't even see the home. So we had to come somewhere where we could even try to see the home. And we're probably about a mile away, I would say. And that's about as close as you can get where you can see other than from the air. We haven't heard from police as far as if there's going to be another news briefing. They did send out a press release this afternoon following their news briefing this afternoon, but again saying very little other than they've served that search warrant. They have found what they believe to be those human remains. They've taken Chad Daybell in for questioning, and there may be some pending charges.